You are 38. You have $612,000. Your coworker has $19,000. You started the same year. Same office. Same $52,000 salary. Same lease on identical one-bedroom apartments, 3 floors apart. The difference isn't talent. It isn't luck. It's a grey 2012 Toyota Corolla you bought at 26. And the 12 years you spent letting people think you couldn't afford better. This is your life driving the same car for 12 years. You are 26, Saturday morning. A used car lot off Route 9. The salesman's name is Dennis. He's got a gold watch and a handshake that lasts 1 second too long. He walks you past a black Charger, a lifted truck, a coupe with a payment that sounds fine, until he says, for 72 months. Dennis says, you've got to treat yourself. You nod. Then you stop in front of a 2012 Corolla, silver grey, cloth seats. 71,000 miles. A hairline crack in the bumper. Dennis calls it a starter car. He says it like he's sorry for you. You pay $7,200 cash. Dennis's smile drops half an inch. You drive it home with the windows down because the AC takes 4 minutes to catch up. That night, kitchen table, 1 lamp on. You write down $480. That's what your friends pay every month for their cars. You write down 12 years. You do the math twice because the first number looks wrong. You fold the paper. You put it in a drawer. Monday, parking lot at work. Your coworker Josh pulls up in a used Charger. Black, loud, exhaust. Same job, same paycheck. Different math. He steps out, looks at your Corolla, laughs once. Bro, you bought your grandma's car. You say, it runs, he says. Bars on the floor. You laugh with him. Because at 26, getting laughed at still feels like proof you did something wrong. The car is still the car. You are 28. The Corolla has 98,000 miles. The trunk latch sticks. You've learned to lift it with your knee. You're at happy hour after a rough quarter. Josh shows up in a newer Charger. Someone, named Priya, pulls in with a lease on a white SUV. You park at the far end of the lot, near the dumpsters, where nobody has to look. Nobody says anything walking in. That's worse than a joke. Outside later, Josh sees the Corolla again. He tilts his head. Still driving that thing, not mean. Just checking. You say, yep, he says, you're good on money. That question stays with you longer than any joke, because he isn't trying to hurt you. He's actually asking. You drive home with the radio off. At a light, a guy in a new Audi glances at your car, then away. Nothing happens. No words, just a glance. Somehow, it still feels like a verdict. That night, the drawer again. You add a number, $41,000. Saved and invested from every payment you never made. You look at it a long time. Then you close the drawer. The car is still the car. You are 30. The Corolla has 121,000 miles. Your Uncle Ray invites you to breakfast. Ray is 61. Plain flannel shirts, a 13-year-old Ford Ranger. And as your aunt mentioned once, almost by accident, for parking lots he leases out near the college. Nobody knew that about Ray for years. At the diner, the waitress knows his order without asking. He asks how work is. You say, fine. He asks about money. You say, getting by. Then he asks, still got the Corolla? You laugh. Unfortunately, Ray sets his fork down. Why, unfortunately? You shrug. Say it's old. Ray looks out at the lot, his Ranger parked between 2 new trucks. He says, old isn't the problem. Visible is the problem. He tells you people don't hate old cars. They hate what they think old cars announce. But sometimes an old car isn't an announcement at all. It's a door nobody's knocking on. Ray says most people spend the first half of life proving they're not broke, and the second half recovering from the proof. He says a car is transportation. A payment is a leash. You drive back to the office in silence. For the first time, the Corolla doesn't feel like a punishment. It feels like a secret. That weekend your mum asks if you're getting a real car soon. She says, "You work hard, you deserve it." You say, "Maybe later." She says, "You always say later." She's right. Later is your favorite word. That night, the draw. $89,000. The number doesn't excite you. It sits heavy, because now you understand the trade. It was never Corolla versus Audi. It was being seen now versus being free later. The car is still the car. You are 33. The Corolla has 156,000 miles. You're seeing Alina. She's kind, practical, splits restaurant bills to the dollar, drives a used Civic she paid cash for. She's never once mocked your car. That's why the wedding stings. A college friend's wedding at a vineyard. Range Rovers, a Tesla, Josh's new Charger, third one now, still black. You park near a maintenance shed. Alina looks around and says, softly, "Wow." She doesn't mean anything by it. You hear it anyway. Josh spots you walking in. Still, the Corolla, huh? Respect the loyalty. A few people laugh. Not cruelly. Just enough. At dinner, Josh talks about his payment. It's stupid, but you only live once, right? You're in your car 2 hours a day. Might as well enjoy it. People nod. You nod too, because he's not completely wrong. That's the dangerous part. Driving home, Alina goes quiet. Then, do you ever worry you're saving so hard you forget to live? You don't answer, because that one lands. In your driveway, engine off. You pull up a car site. A 2024 Lexus. Heated seats. Quiet, cabin. $46,000 financed. For 9 minutes you become someone else, someone who pulls up somewhere and nobody does the math. Then, you hear Ray's voice. A payment is a leash. You close the site. You don't feel strong. You feel tired. The Corolla starts on the first turn the next morning. You almost resent it for being dependable. The car is still the car. You are 36. The Corolla has 189,000 miles. The headliner sags. The passenger window sticks halfway. You know the mechanic, Dario, by name, his kids' names too, and the bowl of butterscotch candy on his counter. Dario once told you, this car runs as long as you take care of it. So, take care of it. One cold Wednesday, it won't start. Click, nothing. A neighbor, walking his dog, says, "Might be time to let her go." You smile. Maybe. The tow driver, a guy named Petey, checks under the hood. Battery. He swaps it right in your driveway, asks how long you've had the car. 10 years. He stops working for a second. 10. He tells you his dad drove the same Accord for 17. Everyone laughed at his dad. His dad retired at 54. That night, something shifts. Not outside, inside. You stop seeing the Corolla as the thing holding you back. You see it as the thing that carried you through to layoffs. 3 rent hikes. A breakup. Every birthday where someone asked why you never upgraded. You check your accounts. $214,000. You don't celebrate. You sleep, because quiet is louder than excitement in the ways that matter. The car is still the car. You are 38. The Corolla has 227,000 miles. A Thursday in September, driving home, the temperature needle climbs slow, then fast. You pull over by a laundromat. Steam curls out from under the hood. You just sit there, no panic. A strange tenderness, like watching an old dog sleep in past noon. Dario calls, 2 hours later. Gentle voice. The repair costs more than the car's worth. You got everything out of it. You say, "Yeah, I did." That evening you stand next to the Corolla in his lot. Paint, gone dull. One headlight, cloudy. Steering wheel worn smooth from 12 years of your hands. You remember Dennis's gold watch. Josh's Charger. Ray's diner. Petey's dad, retiring at 54. You check your phone. $612,000. Not yacht money. Not headline money. Just quiet, unwound, options money. You leave the keys on Dario's counter. Your hand stays on them 1 second longer than it needs to. 2 days later, Josh calls. You haven't talked much in years. His voice is smaller than you remember. He's selling the Charger. Behind on payments, refinanced twice. A lifestyle that felt normal right up until it wasn't. He laughs once, no humor in it. I thought I was ahead of you. You don't know what to say, because, for years, part of you thought so too. That weekend, you buy another Corolla. 2021. Cash. Clean, unremarkable. Nobody cheers when you pull into the driveway. Nobody knows what it means. At a light, a kid in a modified Civic revs his engine, glances over, looks away. You smile not because you're better than him, but because you remember being him. Your phone buzzes. A text from Alina. You two didn't end badly. Life just moved differently. Heard about the old Corolla. End of an era. You type, it did its job. Then you delete it. You type instead, it changed my life. That's closer to true. For 12 years people thought the question was, why do you still drive that car? That was never the question. The real question was, how much of your life are you willing to spend proving you've made it, before you actually have? Some people answer with a payment. Some answer with a badge on the hood. You answered with 227,000 miles, 4 oil changes a year, and the discipline to be misread. And now, at 38, it finally makes sense. You didn't spend 12 years driving an old car. You spent 12 years buying your freedom. One quiet day at a time. Drive safe.